Okay, my name's Tom Vaughan, and that's spelled Vaughan. I am an associate professor emeritus from Texas A&M International University and am a founding member of the Rio Grande International Study, a nonprofit environmental educational organization in Laredo, Texas. Another few people and I, Dr. Jim Earhart especially, and then my wife Pam, decided that we would start an organization, and the organization, the name we came up with, we call it RISK. Our original idea, our mission statement, our goals were, okay, we're going to have an organization that is involved in research, education, and binational cooperation. As part of our organization, we monitored the water quality in the river for 24, 25 years now. At this stage of the game, we monitor not every month, but on a rotational basis from the World Trade Bridge all the way down to San Ignacio. A number of fairly recent issues that our organization, RISK, has worked on was the plastic bag ordinance. I can tell you for sure, if it hadn't been for RISK, the city of Laredo would not have a plastic bag ordinance today. It's a matter of time, and people will eventually figure out that this ordinance is here, and hopefully it's here to stay. I mean, there are some people that are still unhappy about it and want to continue in the courts trying to get it overturned. But I can tell you for sure, I mean, I don't know how many people pay attention, but certainly there's a big difference in the countryside, the river today, in terms of the number of plastic bags that were there in the past compared to much, a whole lot less today. They're still out there in the environment. They're still washing into the creeks, still washing into the river, still washing into the storm drains. But eventually, those will all have made their way to the low point, which would be the river, and so it ought to get better. We can always use volunteers. There's office work that people, they have skills or interest in doing stuff like that. We're open to that kind of assistance. We do projects. For example, right now, we've gotten involved with San Augustine High School, senior environmental science class that is doing a project, and this project has to do with cleanup and restoration of a branch of Manatas Creek. The reason the students are working on this project, it is probably the worst I have seen of any of the creeks in Laredo. Okay, now then most people don't even know it's there, so they're totally unaware of the condition of that area.
Right.
I cannot tell you for sure, but eventually we will be able to tell you. I'm guessing there's somewhere between 30 and 50 shopping carts that have left the parking lots of the businesses in the North Creek Shopping Center, gone into that canal under I-35 and on down the creek, where they create a big jam, and anytime it rains very much, then water backs up. There's flooding problems over on the frontage road I-35 that I'm sure is at least partially the result of water not flowing through the channel through the creek as it would without all of that debris and
trash. Yeah.
Trash. I mean, lots of plastic, lots of, you name it, it's in there. This is it's a long-term project, and we're looking actually for other partners, not only the 25 high school seniors that are working on this project, but anybody else that wants to lend a hand. We had our first little experience this past Saturday. I don't have a weight on the amount of debris that we took to the landfill, but it was a pretty good sized trailer, flatbed trailer, that was piled pretty high with all kinds of debris. And this was, I'm guessing we didn't cover more than 500 square feet. It's a beautiful place. I mean, it's lined with palm trees and other vegetation. The other things the students are going to hopefully get out of this is they're going to learn, a little ecology, a little biology. They're going to learn the plants that are there, the animals that reside in and along the creek, the various species of fish and other organisms. So it's not just manual labor. It's also some
learning.
Yeah, some learning. And then in February we have the birding festival. People come here because we have 3 or 4 birds that they're not likely to see anywhere else in the U.S. People can't fix a problem unless they know about it, right? And so that's where the education part comes in. And I guarantee you, by the time those St. Aug students get their project completed, there will be a lot of people in Laredo that know about it. Okay? They'll know a little bit about the magnitude of the problem over there, and the source of the problem, and maybe something about the solution to the problem. So the approach is to inform people about why it's important to do these kinds of projects, the association between the creek and the river and our drinking water. All of our environmental issues are really social issues. All of the environmental problems are man-made. Nature can take care of itself. It's not until Homo sapiens gets into the picture that these things become problems. It's because of what we do, the way we go about doing things, that creates these environmental problems. Last year we did a cleanup over at the Las Palmas Park and Zacate Creek near the mouth of the river, and at that point I had some other St. Aug students, different group at that point, and we worked on the creek. I think we pulled 13 shopping carts, probably 15 or 20 tires, a telephone pole, stuff out of the creek, that creek. But I mean, that could be really a magnificent area because there's that big waterfall over there. But down at the base of the waterfalls, all of this trash floating there. Once a month we pick maybe a creek or maybe a ranch or somewhere, and we have a meeting time and place, and anybody that wants to go out and spend like a 2-hour hike around, and there's always experienced bird watchers that can point out all the birds and look at the geology, whatever, and just to get people out there a little closer to nature and places they may have never been before. The experience is valuable, and I think the more people we can get out and get them a little bit of experience about the river, about the creeks, about any of the things that are going on, it's worthwhile.